You're winning like 66%. What do you need from me?
So it's not that like I don't know how to play Braum, right? I mean, I feel like I do pretty well. I know on one of the other sites it says I'm ranked like 30th in NA on Braum. So it's not that I don't know how to play my champ. It's literally there's times in the games where I feel like I don't know where I'm at, where not necessarily where I'm at, right? Not physically, but like what I should be doing. Like how to help my team more than what I'm already doing, let's say just with my ADC.
Are you playing duo or solo?
Duo, normally. In this example, I'm duoed with Yasuo mid lane.
Okay.
Typically he plays ADC, but he got mid in this game, so.
Yeah, I'm looking at this start. Kind of see. Okay, you're pinging. Cool. Jesus, what a chaotic level 1.
Yeah. I do remember this game. It was
it's already interesting to say the least. Okay. So I mean, level 1 Braum's strong, so it's not like it's bad to look for early fights or anything. And then for the rest of the lane phase, as soon as a simple way to view this is, which I'm sure you already know, is that like level 1, you can probably win just about any trade with Braum just because your passive's so good. And then after that, you're kind of waiting for 6 unless you can just W a minion and proc your passive. Is normally how I view it. Now, in the case of duo, you might be able to do a little bit more. Oh yeah, like this, for example. She gives you the free passive, and there you go. You just run the lane. How do we lose? We lose this game.
yeah.
Recall. Jinx gets a double. Pull the wave back. I'm just trying to see how you like play and how you move, you know, before we get into a game. You guys start so damn strong. How do we possibly fuck this up? There's another one, and then you shove. You need to help her shove here. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I miscommunicated here. So I knew Zaya was probably going to be back soon, but I just didn't. I should have pinged for her to back off just because I didn't want. That's kind of like where I get confused sometimes, where I feel like when's the good time to really push, right? Fully, like to like up to the turret. Like,
all right, so check it out.
Not to...
So right here, we go back. So the last one is a cannon wave. You guys get done with the fight. So you come to lane and you see, oh, there's no cannon here. This is a very easy way to do like basic wave management. Okay. All right. There's no cannon wave here, and there's no cannon wave here, right? So the next wave is a cannon wave. Wave gets hung in front of tower, and she can't get it done. This is not under. You agree?
Right, because the back of the wave's not.
Right, it's not under. So help her get it under faster, so she can back faster, and then you guys can get into position faster with both of you back and recalled. It doesn't seem like much, but when I see stuff like this, it gives me anxiety because you're Braum. You don't do anything by yourself anyways. Right, so you need to help your ADC push when they get stuck like this. Obviously, you're not going to get penalized for it because we just don't. But this staggers. You see how you're kind of like desynced from one another? That's not, that's not necessary. you should have helped her get it done faster, and then you're both running out together, and she's out front a little bit faster. It's at the end of the day, I view her as an extension of you, right? Like, if in my head, when I'm like rotating around the map as Tryndamere, this is my sphere of influence, right? Well, Braum doesn't really have any influence without someone next to him. So when you're not pushing a wave under tower, that means that she is on the map later. That's bad for you. Does this all make sense?
Right. Yeah, and that's something, something I'm trying to start getting, like, it's degraining out of my mind is like, I can't do anything without her. I mean, like, I can't push this wave because
right.
Oh, I could, but I'm slow. Like, and I shouldn't be taking farm. But right, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you can push without taking farm, though, to be clear. Now, you're pushing up. Look at this right now. So she is pushing up real deep, and you guys are just asking to get ganked soon. So I'm kind of getting anxiety right now, but it's okay, because I don't think we'll be in trouble yet. Sion's not 6. You do have that pink in blue, or on the blue buff, enemy blue buff, or close to it. Now this is a weak side moment here. So Hecarim starts the rift. I personally, right here, there's 2 ways to view this. The thing that's scaring me, one of the ways, the thing that's scaring me is if the enemy team collapses on this rift and he doesn't get it. That's really bad news for you. What you need to ask yourself is, Jinx safe on her own? She's about to have flash and heal up, and they're pretty low. And we, for the most part, we know where Sion can come from, unless he goes like through lane or whatever, right? We know where he's likely to come from, which is going to be on blue, right? So these are moments where I would consider kind of like shifting up river a little bit, just in case like a fight starts to break out. So on my games, like, the thing that separates a good support from a bad support at my level is whether or not they're present for important situations. Okay. So like, we have to always figure out like where is this game gonna fall apart, and where can I provide, support? Like, what is going to break this game down? In my opinion, there's 2 things that break this game down: if Jinx gets picked, or Hecarim dies on an objective. So let's see what you do here. So Hecarim doesn't get collapsed on. That's really good for you, but that means that Sion's probably coming bottom, and he's probably coming through lane. Okay.
And I think your assumptions were correct. I'm pretty sure he actually did ult through lane. I'm pretty sure.
So that, I've never seen this replay in my life, have I?
Nope.
So that right here is your tell, okay? You're playing support. This, you don't have to worry about farming minions. You don't have to worry about, dodging. Well, kind of have to worry about dodging stuff, I guess. But realistically, this type of stuff, this is resource allocation. And by that, I mean, think about where the action's going to be and what are you going to do when it happens. In this case, Hecarim is uncontested getting rifts. Now you guys are snowballing really hard. And by and large, I think you've gotten 1 dragon already. By and large, you guys are in good shape. But you need to realize that the way the enemy team gets back into the game is killing your ADC. So right now, you should probably start pinging your ADC back and start saying, hey, let's be careful here, because this was just taken for free. Remember that. That's a tell. Nobody came over there. Plat, diamond, this type of stuff as a support, this is gonna make you have a almost like soothsayer level of control over games. You're gonna know what's happening before anybody else does. So we can deduce pretty quickly that Sion's only way to kill us is to ult through lane. You ping Jinx off, and then he probably will show up. And you should probably be extra careful here. So let's see what happens. So we push up pretty deep. Here comes the ult. And And I never heard a single ping or anything warning this Jinx that this might happen, right? So Jinx is a moron. No offense in this game, you're a moron because you didn't ping it off, right? That's your job. Your job is to think about, how does my ADC die here? What breaks this game down? So like I said, it was one of two things. In this case, Sion just free rolls your ADC, and now you're stuck here with your dick in your hand, and there's not much you can really do. At this point, by the way, what I would recommend is actually just walking around and going to mid for a bit temporarily. I think you're about to just kind of stand around. Maybe you go up river. No. So I'm not quite as much a fan of this. The reason why is because you're not going to be doing anything for a while. Right? Like, yes, you're leeching the XP, and that's all well and good, and maybe you could argue that that's worth it. But again, this type of stuff is more damaging than staying bottom. See?
Because if I was had rotated earlier,
Right.
Up
There's
to
no play
mid,
for
I would
you
have been
there.
there.
Yeah, there's no play for you here.
Yeah.
Why stand here? Fuck that. Makes sense?
Yeah, and this is like the type of stuff, like, you know, that's what really, to me, I've been trying to, what I want to learn to work on, is because, like, I've been told that, you know, I guess in general, right, human nature, especially in League, is you get tunnel vision, and I feel like I do get stuck in lane a lot of times, not so, especially when I'm behind. Like, I just kind of get so ingrained in bot lane that, like, I need to be, you know, I forget about really what my job is in a realistic matter, right? I mean, I know I'm supposed to support the entire team, not just the ADC.
Well, what our goal is, or what your goal should be as a player, is recognizing these like low, or I guess these like quiet points in a game, these low energy moments, and start to kind of piece together what's about to happen, right? So when I started going through this game, I am imagining myself in your shoes as trying to win with Braum and trying to not drop this game. And my biggest concern for the Jinx right now with where I'm standing is Braum ulting. So I would usually ping off. So I would usually do like a danger ping, and then I would ping his ult, and then I would ping the lane. So what you're doing is you're saying, hey man, let's just sit back. And then you could even do like a ping here to just kind of like get it into your teammate's brain. Like, hey, there could be someone coming this way, and he's probably coming through lane. Let's just sit back for a second until we know more. And then as soon as you do that, we'll see here. Because you guys push up. Like here, it's not a wise idea to pound on the tower here until we know more info. And then after that, again, ask yourself, well, what's the next like thing that could happen that could fuck my game up? Well, our ADC just got shut down, which is tragic. There's no point in you sitting at a small wave and staring at it when, I mean, you could make the argument that like, okay, maybe I should get 6 first, in which case, if you wanted to do like a delayed rotation, stand somewhere like, stand somewhere like here and get this minion XP so you get 6, and then veer off to the fight top that looks like it's breaking out. The supports do this, and I want you to not do it. By that I mean the supports sit around and they don't think about where they can best allocate their resource. It doesn't matter if you get any more, well, it matters if you hit 6, but any more XP beyond that is almost irrelevant at this stage. Right? So just throw that shit away and leave.
Okay, so I guess in the sense I should really make a note to myself that, like, as a support, I should have almost like, not say like no free time. I should be thinking about what, if like, let's say, like in that sense, right, Jinx died. My next thought should be, look at the map, look where I can try to make it.
So it's like hedging your bets. I do a lot of hedging my bets in Korean solo queue. Right? With support, this concept is very important for you because, again, there's only so much you can do. Like with Tryndamere, I'm gated by the lane opponent. If the lane opponent is good, I won't really snowball or just run them over. So at that point, it becomes me and this guy running around the map and trying to be where we're supposed to be at the right moments to make sure that we get our kills or help our team or whatever, right? As a support, you don't like solo kill motherfuckers. This is all you can do. All you can do is think about the fights that are about to happen and whether you like them and want to be a part of them, or whether you want to pull the fuck out of those. Right? Like, that is your main thing. Like, we already established, like, you know how to play Braum. You know what your kit does, right? You're better than I'd probably ever be at Braum. And then, so here you sit with this champion that you've mastered, but your champion doesn't really do anything on his own. So we have to make sure that like you said, every second, every waking moment, we're thinking, all right, is me standing here relevant? That's why I think the best play would probably be literally leech this minion alone, because 2 tower shots, I would just sit right here and I would make it obvious too. I would leech this minion and I'd walk right away from the way. I don't care, because I can't stop them from, I mean, you might be able to like block them from taking the second plate, I guess, but like, again, that 150 gold isn't going to be as relevant as whatever's about to happen up this, that I can see about to happen up this river, because again, we can't do anything here. So like right there, 6. And see, you would be moving up river, and you could telegraph it completely. It doesn't matter because you've got the rotation. You're on the inside track here to just help Hecarim. And then when this fight breaks out, you start showing up. Right here, the fight breaks out. You hop over. And now you're already here. You're able to jump in, maybe get a stun going, maybe get a knockup going, or maybe you could have zoned off the Senna. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that you could do. I don't know if it changes the outcome too much. But it might. It might be worth a peek. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. It might be worth a peek. And then let's see what else happens here in this game. Do you push bottom out? I was thinking about whether or not a dive is possible, but that seems like that would be pretty hardcore, especially versus Xayah. We assume has ult. Yeah. So
now I did rotate, but the timing was really off. I like literally it almost looked like I just took a lap around the dragon pit. It was like I was thinking I would meet Yasuo because the lane's pushing him. I would meet him to lane, and then Swain would be there around the same time, and I could try to help, but it didn't. Timing was off by just slightly, so it didn't work.
Yeah, Swain was gone for a long time. Yeah, he was going for a long time.
Yeah, and that one I did think about, like, oh, maybe if I went mid, I could try to help Yasuo get back in. But Swain was strong. Like, he's already 3-1, so.
There's not much Braum can do about that, to be honest. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. I'm not in love with this strategy that you use here. I mean,
No, it was a terrible decision, and of course it cost me my my life for it. But it was like a lot of times, like, I mean, I was dead either way, so I didn't necessarily need to use my E or anything. But it was just I mean, I think, did I have flash at that point? I think.
Yeah. So I'm trying to. So you're trying to like protect.
Yeah, it's like the Braum instinct is to protect, but like I could have just flashed away or flashed, and I would have lived.
I mean, I think what you were, well, my thing is like, if Jinx is dying to this, okay, I get that you want to peel for the ADC, like you said, the Braum instinct, but I feel like if Jinx is just like walking into this shit, we've got bigger problems anyways. Like here. Yeah, I think Yeah, we already established it's a goofy attempt.
Yeah, it was.
I would just let her
not.
flash out and I would just dodge it. Because basically that's on you, because if you know that she has flash, right, and you're sitting there tanking this, I'm not in love with it, because you're obviously just dead to rights. If you tank that Cyan ult, you're just never moving. You're just gonna be stuck for a very, very long time. Yeah. But I've never actually seen that interaction where it's like Braum just doesn't do shit versus that. Right? Like, you just kind of get stuck in place and just insta die if you get hit by that.
Yeah, I think that stun duration was...
It was an eternity. Yeah, it was an eternity.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, our agency here, I think most of the game kind of gets kind of ugly based on the Scion getting the Jinx kill. And then the rest of this, we'll watch and see. I want to get into a game, but I'm also curious with this game, because you guys are it's still an even-ish game. So right here, interesting decision tree that you have. So you could go to mid here with the Yasuo, which is your duo, which is nice synergy with Braum, by the way. Or you could sit bottom, and you decide to sit bottom, which is kind of goofy. You agree? Hindsight?
In hindsight, yeah, I should have just went mid, because I knew Senna rotated up mid, so I should have just followed her.
This too, though.
Then he's top. So,
right.
Yeah, I think my thought was, so I knew Swain was mid, and like, yeah, I guess we could have killed Senna, but I don't think we could have killed Swain. That was like my thought process, was like,
we got to try though, because that's the bounty.
Yeah.
He's got no Sonias right now. This is the time to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
His jungler's top. If you're like, okay, either you go and kill this Swain, attempt to 2v2, which, yeah, I guess you could argue is not great. I don't think it's that bad though, with Hecarim right here and Ghost and everything up. But like, or you man up and you go under tower here. But if you don't do anything in this sequence, it's bad, because the game is kind of falling apart. I think you guys are getting outscaled. But let's see.
And I think a lot of this,
do.
part of this game was also mental. So, and this is something I've been trying to do, is just pretty much mute everyone as soon as the game starts, just because people like to flame. And the Hecarim has been flaming since the beginning of the game, so I let myself, you know.
Right, you get distracted by it.
Right, yeah.
Because right here, this whole sequence, you're kind of late. You're kind of late on the action. Which is whatever. I just want you to be... right now, I just haven't seen much decision or much decisiveness in this one. Where it's like, you're kind of hovering around. You're not really... You're strong, and you could fight. But you're just not really picking a street. And Senna's picking streets. Like, she went down to bottom and started poking and doing her thing, which, to be fair, you can't really poke. But, like I said right here, stuff like this, so tempted to just push in and dive, or confidently ping this and fight. And we don't choose either, I guess. That's my issue. Because, again, you had all that info.
Yeah, and this has been the struggle that, for me, is... you know, knowing, like, I guess, like, if I'm ahead in the game, if we're just absolutely snowballing, like, we're just crushing them, yeah, well, of course, I feel more confident, but it's always these games where, like, we're kind of teetering. That's where I need to be better at making these decisions, and that's just something that I've been struggling with.
Well, it's just just the mini-map process of elimination. Like, you have to cross-reference where your teammates are and what you see, right? And just determine... Where would I rather put my chips in right now? Because that's all you're really doing as a support. And this...
And he had flash, so...
Yeah, it's tragic.
And then Hecarim decided to...
No, this is not it. Yeah, this is not it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think this game pretty much just starts like you said. It's it just kind of starts.
It looks like a slow burn.
Yeah. If I would hit my Q there, she would have died. Probably.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's kind of a hover fest. We're just hovering around. You know Swain has no flash. Still no Zonias yet. Hecarim goes and steals. So you and your duo should be shoving mid right now and rotating to top here. Or shove mid and act like you're rotating to top and... No, yeah. Shove mid and rotate to top and ping the fuck out of it. Dive this bitch or something. Why are we going to... Why are we just standing around doing nothing? Look at this. See? Now, if Fiora backs, you could just ward the top quadrant or whatever you want to do and take a recall, but you guys can't just sit here and like lose the map and stand around. You got to come up with something. Even if that something is shove and take chickens, Yasuo take chickens, that's all we can do. Do you understand?
Yeah, and then that's really, like I said, that's been the biggest struggle, is just the indecisiveness, and like it almost feels like you can tell I feel like I'm lost, like trying to figure out, like, because in my mind I'm like, it feels like I have a million things, so I'm trying to like decide what's the best situation for the team. But I think it's also just the knowledge of not knowing what is best. Because,
well, think it literally is just waiting. That's all it is. It's just waiting. And by waiting, I mean wait as in like physical wait. Like here, enemy team is all over here, right? That means the opposite side of the map is a green light. You can go over here, take anything that's over here, and be as aggressive as you want to be briefly while you have this window. Because you make it, you already know back here, it's like, well, I'm not fighting, right? Once the Hecarim dies, you go, oh, I'm not fighting. All right, take something then. Immediately shift gears, go cross map. You can account for everybody. It feels to me like you're literally just not cross-referencing the mini map and saying, well, there's this many heads here, I go this way and do something over here. Because I literally cannot do anything down here right now. Start simple. Start simple. Does this make sense? Because it was the same thing with the Scion. The Scion play. The Hecarim shows top. You go, okay, my Hecarim is top. I don't know where the Scion is. He's not on the Hecarim, even though the Hecarim is doing something aggressive. The Hecarim is aggressively taking a camp or an objective, a neutral. Scion must match it on the opposite side of the map. He must do that. It's the only play he can make. I need to play like a bitch in this sequence until I know where the Scion is. Shit, ping my Jinx. Crisis averted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh shit, the Jinx died and I can't do anything 2v1 down here. Well, let's leech the level 6 and get the fuck out of here and go to the other side. Oh shit, they took Dragon. 4 people took Dragon? Oh no. Fuck. Let's shove mid and get the fuck out of here. Let's go to top and maybe we can dive Fiora if she stays. She backs, we'll back. We'll take chickens along the way. They'll lose a wave, they'll lose chickens, and then we'll make it seem like we're doing some real shit over here and we'll just take a recall. Do you see what I mean? It's already like 3 different instances of you not thinking proactively about cross map. That's the term I want you to learn today, cross map. Think about it. Because you're at the level where like you're plat diamond, basically at the level where this stuff is basically how you just rig games in your favor. Because you can kind of know where everybody's at and what they're thinking. But it's a thinking game. We have to think not only about the cross map, but what are the plays that are going to come from a cross map, like the Scion ulting through lane. That's, You know, I don't see Scion jungle very often. I've never seen your replay, but I knew pretty quick that he's probably ulting through lane. That's the only play he makes.